Did you know that in the TCG, Blackluster Soldier, the ritual monster with stats that rivaled the Blue Eyes White Dragon, but required the painful process of ritual summoning, was actually released on the same day as its retrain that would warp every format it was legal in for the next decade? On the 1st of March in 2004, a card so powerful that it would have to be forbidden in the following years would be released. Now of course for this video we'll be focusing on the competitively viable version, although I am a big fan of the original's iconic design. This card, appropriately titled Blackluster Soldier Envoy at the beginning, was the first retrain of Yugi's iconic Blackluster Soldier ritual, the one that was used to defeat My Valentine during the original Duelist Kingdom series. It, alongside its counterpart, Chaos Emperor Dragon, would immediately make a splash on the competitive scene. Both released in Invasion of Chaos, Blackluster Soldier was the first in a line of powerful, easy to summon boss monsters that would dominate the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! For the incredibly easy price of banishing a light monster and a dark monster, you had a monster with the stats of Blue Eyes, ability to not only get rid of a monster but banish it or remove it from play at the time. And if that wasn't it, during its release, it could do this with Ignition Effect priority, meaning that a Bottomless Trap Hole or Book of Moon would still result in losing your vital monster like Sangan. Additionally, unlike its friend Chaos Sorcerer released in the same set, Blackluster Soldier was able to hit the powerful flip effect monsters around at the time because it could banish set monsters. As if a joke of a summoning condition and the most powerful form of removal in the game wasn't enough, the monster could attack twice by destroying an opponent's monster by battle. This card would swiftly be limited on the April 2004 ban list only a month later after its release, and then banned in a year after, in October 2005. Of course, it was a vital part of Chaos decks during this time, and playing around a Blackluster Soldier summon was just something that players became accustomed to, often trying to hold their own to counter. This card would not see the light of day, no pun intended, until September 2011 during Tengu Plant format. Immediately upon its re-release, players were looking for the best light and dark monsters to synergize with it. In its original debut, the pool of light and dark monsters was very shallow, with players in 2005 being relegated to cards like Skilled White Magician to fuel their chaos monsters and non-turbo strategies. However, by the time of 2011, we had cards like Effect Veiler, a light attribute hand trap tuner monster, and Tour Guide from the Underworld, a card that could fetch Sangan, who could fetch a light. Blackluster Soldier became incredibly splashable with that engine and would become an immediate powerhouse in the best deck of that format. It's like he had never left. After Tengu Plant format, Blackluster Soldier saw play in Chaos Dragons, a deck that would become a meta staple in the 2012 format. This deck revolved around powerful chaos monsters including Sorcerer, Light Pulsar, and Dark Flare Dragon, using the Lightsworn engine to fuel them, making it a perfect home for the card. Although Blackluster Soldier took a bit of a backseat in 2013 with the Earth-based Yurgia, Fire-based Fire Fist, and Water-based Mermail decks dominating a majority of the year, in 2014 it was blessed with a home in two of the most dominant decks of that era, Shaddoll and Burning Abyss. These decks both had incredibly powerful light and dark monsters in engine and had the ability to easily fulfill the requirement for Blackluster Soldier by sending monsters to the grave with Dante's effect or a fusion summon for El Shaddoll Construct. Furthermore, Blackluster Soldier was once again dealing with flip effect monsters, although this time it was in the form of Shaddoll monsters, and instead of floaters like Sinister and Sangan and Goat, it was floaters in the form of Burning Abyss monsters. Now this was the last real format where Blackluster Soldier would be a card that was incredibly feared when it was dropped, as he put down his sword and shield, bowing down to the power creep that would dominate 2016. By this time, BA variants neglected to run him, even though their boss monster Beatrice could send monsters to the graveyard, and decks like Monarchs and Cosmo, although they ran light and darks, did not see the merit of this soldier. However, the fact that Blackluster Soldier was able to make such a dominant run for over 10 years, one can only imagine how many decks could have incorporated him during his 6-year-long ban. For one of the first retrains Konami ever made, they did an incredible job, and Blackluster Soldier was one of the first monsters to actually feel like a boss monster. So let me know what you think of this video, let me know if you think there's other cards that I should make a history on, and thanks for watching.